The announcement of the mega fight between Oleksandr Usyk and Rico Verhoeven is making shockwaves throughout the boxing world.
The announcement heard round the world. Oleksandr Usyk, WBC champion, defending his title, his heavyweight crown against Rico Verhoeven. Rico Verhoeven!
If this was a kickboxing match, he'd kick Oleksandr Usyk's legs off in about 2 rounds. He's been in the camp with the Furies for many years. He spars many rounds with Hughie Fury. He sparred hundreds of rounds with Tyson Fury. And he's been around Peter Fury a long time. Peter wouldn't embarrass himself for taking on a clown. So it lets you know that he can definitely fight. But I just think Usyk's so clever and so wise. 2-3 rounds maximum, he'll have figured them out. He'll have got the timing down to a T. And I think by round 5, 6, he'll be teeing off on him. And he won't know where they're coming from. So he's an amazing kickboxer. He's one of the best. You know what I mean? Listen, I think Ernie Stokes is the best kickboxer ever, but that's up for debate. But he's a strong guy. He's got very, very good hands for a kickboxer. But listen, you're coming into our discipline. No one is ever going to come into our discipline and beat us at it. It's like we can't go into their discipline. If this was a kickboxing match, he'd kick Oleksandr Usyk's legs off in about 2 rounds. But thankfully, it's not. It's a boxing match. And I think, like I said, after that 6 or 7 minute period where he's really difficult and hard to figure out, I think then you'll see the undoing of him.
Oleksandr Usyk versus Rico Verhoeven is close to being signed for May 9th. He's a Glory kickboxer, and he has dominated Glory kickboxing for a long time. He does know how to fundamentally box. He just so happens to have leg kicks and combinations, heavy head kicks, knees in close range. He just happens to have that in his locker. Not to mention, he's got every statistical advantage over Usyk. I mean, come on, he's 66-10 in Glory kickboxing, with 21 of those wins coming by way of knockout. He's 6'5", and he's got an 82-inch reach. This will be a competitive fight if it happens. But again, like in most fights when an MMA fighter or a kickboxer crosses over, I think Usyk's experience in the boxing ring will take over. He will be able to switch angles. He will be able to land shots more effectively, and he'll get the win by unanimous decision, or like I said, a very late stoppage.
I have no issue with the event. I have no issue with the fight. But it's ludicrous that the WBC title is on the line. Sonny Liston, here's the champions that have held the WBC heavyweight title in line. Sonny Liston, Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, George Foreman, Ken Norton, Larry Holmes, Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis, Frank Bruno, Vitaly Klitschko, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, now Oleksandr Usyk. If for any reason,
I tell you the one thing they've got right. The one thing they've got right is they recognise that Oleksandr Usyk is the best heavyweight in the world.
I think we all recognise.
Right, so regardless of what belt everybody else has got,
but it doesn't need to be for the WBC belt.
So they're saying, no, we're sticking with the champion. We're sticking with the champ because he's the man. And that's what they're doing. They're sticking with the man that they recognise as the best heavyweight fighter in the world.
I tend to see a little bit more enthusiasm about this. I think most of the folks on the MMA side that I've seen, again, it's very anecdotal. I've not run research. They seem to like it quite a bit. On the boxing side, they're real unhappy. They don't like this one at all. So there's a big divide between the two. Why? Well, number one, as I just mentioned, the WBC title is up for grabs. These sanctioning bodies, bro, they're just so pathetic. By what reason would you ever grant Rico Verhoeven? By the way, this will be his second pro fight in boxing ever. He has one prior to this. A world title opportunity. It just makes no sense whatsoever. And I think a lot of boxing fans, there were times where, by the way, the WBO was threatening to strip Usyk, and there were questions about what kind of fight was he going to take. Personally, I feel like the guy has earned an opportunity to go get a payday. There are other fights for him to have taken, and what I'm seeing is that the boxing fans kind of wanted him to go down that road. They don't care about him fighting a guy who is in all likelihood hopelessly overmatched. But nevertheless, me personally, hey, listen, is there a fight out there that I really need to see him in, that just, that an itch that has not been scratched? Deontay Wilder, or another fight with Fury, or Anthony Joshua, or Dubois? Not really. I mean, I know there are some heavyweight fights going on out there. Fabio Wardley's got a fight coming up and whatnot, but I don't know. It's just, no. This is, to me, I understand if you're a boxing fan, this is why on earth would you care about this? But as someone who comes from the more MMA side, and kickboxing is closer to MMA as a community, as a culture, than it is the boxing side of things. I'm not saying that kickboxing is not closer to boxing in terms of the techniques used as a sport. It's in a ring, there's similar kinds of gloves, there's no takedowns, blah, blah, blah. But culturally, kickboxing is closer to MMA, which is why I think you're seeing some of this split reaction.
So I'm not so mad at the fight. In fact, I think the fight is going to be a fun one. I think Usyk's probably going to wash Rico, but hey, you never know. Francis walked in there, knocked down Tyson, jiggled his balls in his face, and ended up almost beating him. So yeah, I'll watch this. It's an entertainment fight. It's a crossover fight. And while I think that Oleksandr Usyk has bigger fish to fry in the heavyweight division, when KBL is a mandatory, I thought, for Oleksandr Usyk, there is, for other sanctioning bodies like the WBO, you have Fabio Wardley and Daniel Dubois. You have that fight about to happen, so the winner of that is going to, I thought, fight Usyk. And then you have Tyson Fury waiting in the wings. There's Moses Italma waiting in the wings. There's a lot of odd stuff happening here with the sanctioning bodies. And I'm going to tell you this now. This is what leaves a sour taste in my mouth about this fight. The sanctioning bodies are going to, and they already are, digging their own graves with stuff like this. They are. They are digging their own graves, because the more they do stuff like this, Rico Verhoeven, no reason, no business he should be fighting for a heavyweight championship in boxing. Yes, in kickboxing, very different. Him coming over and fighting for this, and essentially his second boxing match, Rico fought a guy named Janos Finfera and knocked him out cold. I mean, like I said, it's a crossover fight. If you want to say, like, look at what all Usyk has done for the heavyweight division, he fought the best of the best, he ran laps around the division, so he deserves a fun fight, that's fine. I don't really have any problem with that. I didn't have a problem with watching Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou. I said, you know what? I'm excited for the fight. I'll watch the fight. I'm excited for this fight. I'll watch the fight.
And some of you might be right here. You're like, oh, 1 second. Oleksandr Usyk's done everything asked of him, whether that be as an amateur, whether that be in the cruiserweight division, and so far in the heavyweight division. Give him one. And I kind of see the argument for that. Look, I'm not saying I like it. I kind of see the argument for it. Tyson Fury had one, didn't he? Tyson Fury had a knock against Francis Ngannou as a heavyweight champion. So I don't see much difference between that and this, although that got critiqued as well. AJ, I guess, had one against Jake Paul. Again, I didn't see, I mean, people were complaining, but he still went and did it. So look, Oleksandr Usyk has entertained me for nearly a decade. And I always find it difficult, and I think I said this before in a video, I find it difficult to say anything negative about Oleksandr Usyk, anything negative at all. Would I like him to stay more busy? Yes. Would I like him to fight the next man up? Absolutely. But I don't think I'm going to crucify him for doing this. I don't.
I think Rico's going to have to boot him in leg or something. If he wants to get any sort of advantage over him, no one can beat Usyk in a boxing fight. I don't care who you are. No one on this planet. He's the best heavyweight on this planet, and he's the best heavyweight of his era. If guys like Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua can't put a dent in him, no one's going to be able to put a dent in him, I'm afraid. So yeah, Rico will have to throw a few leg kicks if he wants to get one over on him there. But again, Rico's a legend of kickboxing. Guys like that who have paved the way in kickboxing and have been the goats of their generation, they deserve to get these paydays and these sort of chances to showcase what they can do and just to promote themselves and to get some big money and stuff. So yeah, it'd be nice to see, to be fair.
Oleksandr Usyk has delivered every single fight that us fans have demanded from him. And some he's delivered twice over. If he wants to have a little bit of fun with a legend from a different combat discipline in an unbelievable setting for a boatload of cash, crack on, pal. But the fact that the WBC will reportedly sanction this as their heavyweight championship of the world is absolutely diabolical. They have an interim champion in Ajit Kabayel. They have 15 ranked fighters that have been paying their sanctioning fees. To completely overlook them and entertain this is exactly why I supported Terence Crawford and Shakur Stevenson for not paying their WBC sanctioning fees. They make it up as they go along, and boxing doesn't need them.
I looked up Rico Verhoeven, And that guy is an absolute beast, to be honest. He's a tank. He's a wrecking machine, a knockout artist. The guy's a monster. But in kickboxing, not boxing. So why would Oleksandr Usyk do something like that? Well, if you know Oleksandr Usyk the way I do, the guy is just one of those warriors. He always admired martial arts and mixed martial arts, dressing up like a samurai and shit like that. Look at his training. His training is strange. And he said many times, him fighting an MMA guy or a karate guy or a kickboxer, that was something that he always desired.